Right? Now on the radio with Ron Siegel Radio.
Ron Siegel Radio, your home and mortgage connection.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Radio Show, only on Financial News and Talk. Now live in studio, your host, local and national real estate expert and consumer advocate, Ron Siegel.
And hello again. Welcome to Ron Siegel Radio. This is the show with no real boundaries as we discuss current events, financial markets, politics, sports, even poking fun at the rest of the media. This is the show that connects the dots of confusion, delivered by conflicting media reports. We connect the dots so you know the actions you can take, how your family, your business can benefit in current events. Most of all, thank you for joining me. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day. We have a very focused show. We only chat about items that affect the roof over your head, your bank account, and anything I feel would benefit you. But before we get into our intriguing content today, please join me in welcoming our featured guest. Welcome back, Jeff Clark, Trident Inspection Group. Glad to have you with us, buddy.
Good morning to you, Ron. Glad to be here.
Absolutely. Hey, let me remind you, if you ever have any home or finance-related questions, I am the consumer advocate looking out for you. And you can reach out to me directly, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. Just remember, that's the number you call anytime for assistance. When you call that number, it comes directly to me first. There are operators standing by.
Quiet, numbskulls, I'm broadcasting.
While I do have a great team when it comes to developing a financing plan, a plan to save you money, I personally work with you. Even if you don't have any needs today, save this number in your phone for future reference, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. And of course, we're celebrating today. There's a lot to celebrate today. Not only did we wake up, that's obviously one of the best things. We are on the proper side of the sidewalk. And I only bring that up because today is National Funeral Director and Mortician Recognition Day. Now, who's recognizing these people? I hope it's not their clients. Just throw that out there to you. The New World Promposal Day. And it's funny because you look at the founding of this. You heard of Hallmark holidays, right? Well, this one was founded by Men's Warehouse. So you just look at that and have to kind of laugh. Promposal Day. They've got, since I went to prom, and that was in the horse and buggy days, they've gotten pretty fancy at this, asking somebody to go to prom nowadays. It's a whole event. It used to be, in my day, depending upon your personality, you just got nervous for a month and finally, popped the question. Now it's an extravaganza. Holy cow. 311 Day. I don't know about that one. Now, this is kind of funny because this one is founded in 2020, and it was Google.org fellows and San Jose in collaboration with Las Vegas, Josh, Los Angeles, Oakland, Santa Clara County. It's supposed to be where it's not an emergency. I think in Los Angeles, 311 would be overwhelmed right now. It's just kind of crazy. I don't know about this one. National Napping Day. It's the day after the return of daylight savings time. I think every day is National Napping Day. We get started at 4 a.m. So if you get a busy signal when you call us somewhere around 2:30, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, it might be napping time. Let's throw that out there for you. Johnny Appleseed Day. Okay, that one's one I remember. That's a little bit of an older one. And having beaten anorexia, you know where I'm going with this one. National Oatmeal Nut Waffles Day. You have some Canadian maple syrup to go right on there? Yeah, you can't go bad with that. Got blueberries. Unfortunately, Josh, I'm not seeing any whipped cream on there. Okay. I guess we better stop celebrating and get back to work. Well, I guess if we look at the markets, maybe we want to go back to celebrating. The Dow Jones Industrial Average is down 71.34. The S&P 500 is down 14. NASDAQ is down 42. Oil up 8 cents a barrel. And the 10-year Treasury is up 2 basis points. Not a big deal right there. I am sharing with you, I've got a friend of mine who does a lot of analytical work in the markets, and he's really, really smart at it. He doesn't listen to the radio show, so I can say how smart he is before he starts charging me extra money for using his stuff. Dan Rawich does a great job, and there's a lot of the technical indicators that say the stock market is due for a major correction. So beware, buyer beware. Tomorrow we're going to get CPI, and once again, the BLS, Bureau of Labor Statistics. Generally, their reports are more BS, but that's a whole different subject. They're going to tell us about CPI, and the Federal Reserve likes knowing this data because that's what they make their decisions on. The cost of the Fed funds rate doesn't directly impact mortgage rates, but if you've got a home equity line of credit, it's going to have an impact there because it does directly affect the prime rate. So, and most home equity lines of credit are built off of the prime rate. So be aware that that's going to come out tomorrow. We'll see what happens with that one. Gasoline prices, $4.88 a gallon here in the formerly Golden State. $4.11, Josh, is what you get out there. And, you know, I'm still looking at Arian's price. My loan assistant, $2.94 a gallon. I guess Gavin doesn't hit there, so we're okay. What else is going on in the world? Politics are out there still. I guess it's going to get really dirty, really nasty, and for a long time this year. 8 months until the presidential election. Is there a way we can turn off the news until then? You know, it's fascinating watching or hearing highlights. I don't watch the garbage. Jimmy J.A. Kimmel, you know, he did that show last night. You know, the only thing I can say is I watched it for about 3 minutes until I had to go in the restroom and, well, I'm not going to say that. But my wife likes watching that stuff. Can't they get back to Billy Crystal when that show actually was a decent show? But how do you go on and have a dispute between the donkey, and Donald Trump? Right? Trump came out and you know, on his Truth Social page saying what a poor show it was. And Kimmel responds during the show. Just fascinates me, especially as we watch it more and more and see some of these things that are going on. Love him or hate him, half the stuff that Trump has said is coming to pass. Right? I mean, he told us that we wouldn't have the same kind of growth in the markets if he was not reelected. Well, I saw a stat the other day that the Dow Jones Industrial Average during the Trump administration was up about 50-some%, 25 under Biden. We were not in any new wars under Trump. We've got Ukraine. We've got Gaza under Biden. Maybe you can say what you want. Give me a mean tweet. I'd much rather have $2 gas and a mean tweet than $5 gas and a guy that doesn't even know the difference between illegal and undocumented. Just throw that out there for you. Not that I'm a partisan in any way, but I do remember for some of us, we like the 4% interest rates instead of the 7% interest rates. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate current events and the financial markets. When we come back, home inspections, home insurance, finding your perfect home in a fixer-upper, really? What is mortgage APR? All that and more. Reach me anytime. Off-air number 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com. Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube. Ron Siegel, the number 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel. Your home and mortgage connection.
Hey there, friends. Wondering if now is the right time to buy a home? Or are you waiting for a bunch of foreclosures? The facts speak loud and clear. Defaults and foreclosures are down. Sure, we might be headed towards a recession. But did you know interest rates typically drop and real estate values often go up during a recession? So what are you waiting for? Higher prices or higher payments? Don't navigate these waters alone. Connect with RonSiegelRadio.com today. That's RonSiegelRadio.com.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The Mortgage Minute today being brought to you by our friends at Geneva Financial. When you're ready for that next home loan, Geneva's got the programs and the products. You just need to make a call, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. Every day at this time, OBMMI, they provide the most comprehensive, accurate, timely, and interactive analysis of pricing ever conducted in the mortgage industry, calculated from actual locked rates with consumers across 35% of all mortgage transactions nationwide. They don't tell us points paid, points received. They tell us what the actual rates were locked at as of the prior business day. That would be, obviously, March 8, being that we're recording on March 11 right now. 30-year conforming loans, they were down on Friday, 6.71. 30-year jumbo loans, 6.99. 30-year FHA loans, 6.554. 30-year USDA loans, rural areas, generally no down payment, 6.554. And the 30-year VA loan, best loan on the market for those that earned it, 6.226. That was down quite a bit. And if you're not getting asked, if you're getting a loan and the lender did not ask you if you or your spouse have military service background, get rid of the lender because they're doing you a disservice. Just throwing that out there. My opinion, and I'm right. I'm just going to tell you that. Because that is the best loan on the market. Why wouldn't they ask you about it? Maybe they don't understand it. Maybe that they don't offer it. But they should be if they're really doing you a service as opposed to just looking to collect money from you. If you want our commentary as early as the market allows, we do send out our market thoughts of the day, rsrmarketminute.com, rsrmarketminute.com. You can sign up there, and it's free to you. Let's take a look and see what's going on in the markets today now that we've looked at some of the stuff from last week. So today we're looking at the S&P 500 is down 12.84. More the 10-year Treasury up 1 basis point. The mortgage-backed security, the bond itself, is down 4 basis points. When the bond goes down, rates go up, but it's usually about a quarter is the number. So if the mortgage bond is down 1 basis point, that means interest rates are up 1 basis point. You're not going to notice it. Why is all that happening? Well, there's not a whole lot of news right now, so you look at technicals, but there's going to be news throughout the rest of the week. We didn't get it today. Tomorrow, we're going to get the CPI report. That's not the Fed's favorite number, but they do like CPI. The markets will watch CPI. For those of you that don't eat and don't use any energy, the core number is what the markets actually look at. Core CPI, core PCE. They exclude food and energy from those numbers. So again, if you don't eat and you don't use energy, that's the number you're looking at. So we're watching that. And again, they're changing the Bureau of Labor Statistics. I just shortened that out to BS for that department because they just changed again how they're going to calculate some of these numbers. And they tell us that they're understaffed. Has anybody ever heard that from a government agency before, that they're understaffed and need more money? As they go through, as my friend Jeff here told me, $1 trillion every 100 days.
It was
So
amazing.
crazy numbers. So thankfully, I'm just going to throw this out there. I don't have to worry about that because I'm old. My grandkids, they're going to have to be the ones that are going to pay that bill. Right? Think about that because it's the same as putting money on your credit card. What are you doing when you put your money on your credit card? Well, you have to pay that bill, but basically you're saying, I want it now, and I'll worry about paying for it later. what does the federal government do? They just put more commas in there because we don't get to just print money. That's what they do. Bad for our kids and grandkids as they continue doing that. And I've got another grandchild on the way. We just found a gender, another boy coming into the family. And boy, is he going to get a big bill, being that we've got this spending going on. And as I've told you before, the spending that's in the state of California with the California Fair Plan, that is going to cost potentially, I think it's a $1.3 trillion liability that the state of California could face. Thanks, Gavin. You're doing a great job there, buddy. Maybe you can take that to Washington. Maybe George Washington you can take it to. Just a different issue. That's the Mortgage Minute, brought to you by our friends at Geneva Financial. When you're ready for that next home loan, Geneva's got the programs and the products. You just need to call 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. Let's chat about inspections. Jeff Clark is with us, Trident Inspection Group. Glad to have you with us, sir.
Good morning, Ron. Excited to be here.
So what's new in the world of inspections?
Oh, it's just a different type of market that we're in right now. One of the main things that I've been seeing very frequently are current homeowners that are receiving these inspection requests for insurance renewals.
Insurance renewal.
Yes, they will get a nice little letter that says you are, I can't remember the exact phrase, but basically we're canceling you unless you get this inspection. So that's been a very
breaks your heart.
It's shocking, but we've been seeing these steadily increase for about the past 9 months, a year, something right in that neighborhood.
Do they really want the inspection, or are they just looking for some excuse to cancel people?
You know, they are being very particular. Just say it that way, right? They want to know where their loss is going to be. I think it's from, the natural hazards, the floods,
right,
the fires, the replacement value, things like that.
Well, something, I don't blame the insurance companies at all, right? I'm not a fan of insurance companies, but you can't blame them because they're in business,
right?
And they can't print money like the government does. They can't issue bonds like the government does, right? They've got to be on a business model that says that they've got to cover these liabilities. Right. And if they can't charge to cover the liability, they've got to reduce their exposure.
Right.
So going and saying to somebody like Trident that, hey, we want to know when was the roof redone, or when was the water system. I guess water.
What kind of plumbing? How did their washing machine, the angle stops, which are the little valves that supply water to the faucets? What does your electrical panel look like? What does the attic look like? Is there any staining in there? It's a very scaled down inspection, but very specific. And if you don't check all the boxes, it becomes an issue.
So is it uniform what the insurance companies are looking for from what you're seeing? If I go to, and I'm just throwing out a name, if I go to Acme or if I go to XYZ,
right?
Do they want the same things, or can I go to Acme? Acme calls and says, okay, we want an inspection. I call you to do an inspection, and Acme doesn't like it. So I take my report, or I go and I say, XYZ, will you insure me?
Great question. What I've been experiencing is the underwriters. It'll be kind of specific to the house, but the typical, they're very similar, but based on the year of construction and based on what they know about the house and what the insured is stating that they've done to the house, it requires different types of documentation.
Okay, and one of them that I don't know whether it's you or somebody else told me that they're wanting to know about roofs. Yeah,
they're really getting specific on roofs. They want to know what the condition is, the best estimate as far as when it was. If there's no documents as to when it was replaced, they want the best estimate as to when it was replaced, and then they want to know what's the life remaining on that roof.
Interesting. So when you look at the shingles, how would you know when it was?
Well, there's some telltale signs. You could go off of on a comp shingle or composition shingle roof, which is your most typical roof.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah.
You have to remember, Jeff, I don't even know how to use a screwdriver or which end to use.
Right.
I imported millions of them, but I don't know how to use them. So
copy that. So, you look at the degranulation, and that's the pebble aggregate on the surface. How much of that is gone? Is there any, because it's really like a three-step process. It's fiberglass impregnated with tar with the pebble aggregate on top. That's your composition shingle roof, right? So as you start to get a little bit shiny on those, and you'll start to see curling and cracking on the ridge, which is where the roof comes together.
Okay.
You'll have a ridge on top of there as that's cracking. How's the flashing? And the flashing is around like your chimney, around the drip edge, or your fascia board, which is that wood right below the roof. And then where two roofs come together creates a valley, so that anywhere that it channels water, they want to know exactly what's going on with that, because they want to know what kind of loss, what's their exposure.
What's their exposure?
Yeah.
So are you going up there to do that, or do you just send a drone up?
On composition shingle roofs, I do get on every roof, no extra charge for the weight test.
Okay. Now, I don't, again, I'm not very smart on these things. Don't they have to have a permit for a roof?
They do. That should be able. Not a lot of homeowners will do the permit research, right? And we don't provide that service. If you want to go pull permits, go on the internet, go down to your county office, your city office, and get that information. But I always encourage them to pull the permit as well.
Yeah, because I would think that the insurance company, with all their resources, would have a tie-in to be able to look at that. But
no,
who am I? What am I to know? They want you to inspect it.
They want an actual physical inspection. They want photo documentation. They want to see the top of the roof from all sides. They want us to get in that attic, traverse the entire attic or all the accessible attics, looking for moisture stains, looking for cracked trusses or rafters or anything that's going to compromise that structure.
Wow. So what percentage do you have any idea of what percentage of the homes or the insurance renewals are requesting that?
I don't.
Okay.
I don't. I just know. Yeah.
You're just getting called for it a lot.
We're probably receiving, I'd say, between 10 and 15 calls a month.
Okay. So 10 and 15 a month, and you guys are doing a good number of inspections, and you're well known. So it's not a huge percentage is what I'm thinking.
No.
Interesting. Okay. So if you're thinking about that, Trident Inspection Group, you're probably not thinking about it. If you get that surprise notice, Trident, so it's not as expensive as a full inspection.
No.
Okay. So Trident Inspection, give me a call at 800-306-1990. I know where to find Jeff, and we'll put you in touch.
Right.
You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. When we come back, finding your perfect home in a fixer-upper. Really? What exactly is mortgage APR? All that and more. Reach me anytime off air, number 800-306-1990. 800-306-1990 or RonSiegelRadio.com. Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube. Ron Siegel, the numero 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel Radio. Your home and mortgage connection.
79% of all credit reports have errors that should be corrected through factual disputing. You could be saving thousands every year if your report was accurate. CreditSanitizer.com provides a free credit report audit when you furnish a specific $1 credit report. You can use this information to request corrections to your report and potentially save thousands of dollars. Get your free credit audit at CreditSanitizer.com. That's CreditSanitizer.com for a free credit report audit. CreditSanitizer.com.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The real-time real estate segment today being brought to you by rsrmoney.com, rsrmoney.com. Finding your perfect home in a fixer-upper. If you're trying to buy a home and are having a hard time finding one you can afford, it may be time to consider a fixer-upper. That's a house that needs a little elbow grease or some updates, but has good bones. Fixer-upper is going to be a really great option if you're looking to break into the housing market or want to stretch your budget further, according to NerdWallet, quote. Buying a fixer-upper can provide a path to home ownership for first-time home buyers or a way for repeat buyers to afford a larger home or better neighborhood. With the relatively low inventory of homes for sale these days, a move-in ready home can be hard to find, especially if you're on a budget, unquote. Basically, since the number of homes for sale is still so low, if you're only willing to tour homes that have all your dream features, you may be cutting down your options too much and making it harder on yourself than necessary. It may be time to cast a wider net. Sometimes the perfect home is the one you perfect after buying it. Here's some information that can help you pinpoint what you truly need so you can be strategic in your home search. First, make a list of all the features you want in a home. From there, work to break those features into categories such as must-haves. If a house doesn't have these features, it won't work for you and your lifestyle. Nice-to-haves. These are features you'd love to have but can live without. Nice-to-haves are not deal breakers, but if you find a home that hits all the must-haves and some of these, it's a contender. Dream state. This is where you can really think big. Again, these aren't features you'll need, but you find a home in your budget that has all the must-haves, most of the nice-to-haves, and any of these, winner, winner. Once you've sorted your list in a way that works for you, share it with your real estate agent. They'll help you find homes that deliver on your top needs right now and have the potential to be your dream home with a little bit of sweat equity. Lean on their expertise as you think through what's possible, what features are easy to change and how to make it happen. According to Progressive, quote, many real estate agents specialize in finding fixer-uppers and have a network of inspectors, contractors, electricians, and the like, unquote. Your agent can also offer advice on which upgrades and renovations will set you up to get the greatest return on your investment if you ever decide to sell the home down the line. Bottom line, if you haven't found a home you love that's in your budget, it may be worth thinking through all your options, including fixer-uppers. Sometimes the perfect home for you is the one you perfect after buying it. See what's available in your area? Give me a call, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. And if you caught our show last week, thank you. If you didn't, shame on you. But you would have seen Martha Jo Patterson with us, I think on Thursday. And we did a broadcast. Martha Jo's forte, her specialty, is dealing with probate. And in a lot of instances, those homes are in need of some love. Those are the ones you're really looking for. And those are, believe it or not, those are the ones that the investors are buying. If you're a end user, you can afford to pay more than an investor. That's the real-time real estate segment brought to you by rsrmoney.com, rsrmoney.com. Now, let's take that one step further. When you're looking at that probate property, when you're looking at some of these fixer-uppers, highly, highly recommend you call our friend Jeff Clark at Trident Inspection, because there's nothing wrong with a fixer-upper. Mm-hmm. What I am going to share with you is surprises are really, really good for birthdays, not for spending $500,000 on a house. If you call Jeff, he and his team will give you an idea of, hey, well, this is good, this is bad, this is ugly, this is health and safety. Am I right?
No, you're 100% right on that, Ron. And we get that call frequently. Hey, I just inherited this property, or we're thinking about this property. There's nothing really known on it. We want you to come in there, inspect it. We want to make sure that what we're looking at is all that we're seeing. There's nothing structurally or foundation, or there's no unforeseen hurdles that we're going to have to that will sink it. Right? It's all pretty much. We're just going to take the possession of this house, buy this house, and we just want to do an aesthetic change on it, change floor plan, change this, change that. But we want to make sure that while we're changing it, nothing springs in and then just sinks it.
Yeah, that's a big issue. Now, there's two things that I want to unpack there that Jeff said. One is, if you're the inheritee, I think it is, or inheritor, whatever that is, right. If you get the property,
right,
I'm not sure you want to have it inspected, because then you become too smart. If you're the buyer, you absolutely want it inspected, because I inherited some properties, Jeff, and it was very easy for me when I listed them to say, I inherited this property. I know absolutely nothing about it.
Right.
I can't make any warrants to the condition because I never lived there. You know, I just am taking care of it. I'm the co-successor trustee.
Right. So there's a couple that's exactly right. You don't know what you don't know.
Right.
Right. And that's a fair position. If you're looking to buy this house, though, we strongly recommend, obviously, to have the inspection. Then taking that one step further, Trident offers another service that will take that report and put a dollar figure to the entire report, and it'll break it down by system: plumbing, electrical, drywall repair, roofing, HVAC, etc.
Wow.
And then that way you take a look to see what is this going to cost to rehab, or kind of puts you in the ballpark on what is it going to take to bring this up to my standard.
That's a big benefit.
Yeah. That gets that particular service is used quite frequently, and we've had good success with that, and our clients really have enjoyed it.
Well, you've got another benefit there also that a lot of people don't think about when they're thinking about the home warranty or the home inspection. Basically, when Jeff comes out and you guys do an inspection, it's giving us a baseline of this property. So we know that when we buy it, if we decide to buy it, and it may be that this tells us, okay, go ahead and buy it, or buyer beware.
Right.
But the next step to that, and again, I don't remember the date. Josh might have it there. We had Don Neary was on the program last week or the week before, and we were talking about home warranties.
Mm-hmm.
So you can actually take the inspection report that you have,
right,
or that you provide, and say, okay, this is the condition of the property. That the HVAC was working when I bought it because I've got an inspection report.
Correct. I've spoken to several home warranty companies, and in our report, because our language is very binary. It's working, yes or no. We put other information in there to support that it is working. We take the extra steps so that way, if something should happen, it falls under home warranty. I mean, there's some other things in that situation, but we want to make it. Our goal is to protect our client.
Sure.
And to make sure that our document is, we could present that to the home warranty or to whomever, and it stands on its own.
Well, that's a nice thing. Okay, so you go back to February 27th. If you look in our archives, February 27th, go to ronsiegelradio.com in the archives, and you can see where Don was on the program with us February 27th. And, you know, you can actually, that warranty is like a basis. It says, okay, the HVAC was, when you did it, I'm sure you're going to put on there that it's a 2021
right
HVAC system, and we check make sure that it's blowing right and not blow or whatever. Again, I don't know any of these things. I'm just talking out of my pie hole here.
No, really, what we're going to take a look at is we're going to use the normal operational controls, essentially the thermostat. We're going to make sure that it fires up. We're going to take a look at the way the
thermostat even has to have batteries then.
Some of them, yeah.
Yeah.
I always carry batteries in the truck just to make sure. I'd hate to tell somebody I can't inspect that because I don't have 2 AAA batteries.
That would be pretty tough.
That's a tough conversation, right? So we make sure that everything is working at the time of inspection, and then more importantly, that we document it, right? And then also, to your point, we want to make sure that they know what the current market is, meaning that they're phasing out R22 refrigerant, right? They're phasing it out. After 2030, it's a hard stop for everybody. So we just want to, it's not a defect, but we want to make sure, I want to empower my clients to know that, hey, at 2030, if it's a repair, it's replaced. So that way they could begin to budget or take appropriate actions. That way they're not caught off guard.
Right, because I think that Dawn told us that the average air conditioning system is about $8,000. I think that's what she said.
That'd be fair.
So, you know, if you got 2030, you've got 6 years. So you know that you've got to be putting away about $700, $800 a year,
right,
to pay for that. You know, at that point in time, because if you need that refrigerant, do you have to replace the refrigerant very often?
Well, that's like, I always look at it like it's your circulation system. It's a closed loop system. If you don't have refrigerant, you have a leak somewhere. right?
Okay.
It's really just that simple. And then there's other things that you want to take a look at in that HVAC system, especially if it's an interior unit. If it's in your hall closet, there's usually 2 condensation lines that are usually one that's plumbed out for sure. And then I always make a recommendation to get that second condensation line. It's just a little electronic kill switch. You get it put in for about $200-300, and that way, if that ever gets plugged, you're not having a flood inside your house. These are the types of little nuances that you're going to get when you call Trident and have an inspection. It's going to be, is it working today? Then you're also going to get little maintenance tips and things like that.
That's an interesting comment that you just made there, because I've never heard of that before, which goes with a lot of other things when it comes to handy things that I've never heard of. But I was sharing with a friend of mine in Dallas. She's had like 5 or 6 or 7 floods in her house in the last year. And no matter when as soon as they finish one, then another one springs up. And I said to her, I said, have you possibly looked at putting a water pressure regulator? And she said, what the heck is that? I said, I don't know, but I know it works.
Well, there's a couple different things that you could put on there. You could put a flowy monitor where that kind of, this is pretty advanced, but it gets it measures the amount of flow, and it has an algorithm on there, and it just measures it. And if you fall outside the scope, it catches a little bit quicker than waiting that month to get that $500 water bill. Or you could put little sensors near your washing machine, water heater, HVAC system, underneath your kitchen sinks that help detect if moisture should happen. There's little things that you could do as to get ahead of it, but moisture is the enemy of every home.
That's the biggest, and from what I understand, that's the biggest problem. I mean, there's not nearly as many fires as there are water damages.
Oh, I could tell you story after story. But
I want to, something.
What?
That's usually a great thing for Ron Siegel Radio. I love stories. Maybe I'll get some popcorn during the break, and we'll get Jeff Clark to tell us a story when we come back. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. You can reach me anytime. Off-air number, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube. Ron Siegel, the number 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel Radio. Your home and mortgage connection.
Are you like many of your neighbors trying to figure out how to pay off your debts so you can retire someday? Build bigger savings. Invest in opportunities. Visit rsrnodebt.com. Debt will destroy 50% of Americans from being able to retire earlier and with more. What if you could have a guaranteed program that could show you how to eliminate all of your debt in 10 years or less, all without having to spend more each month than you spend right now? Yes, that's correct. All without spending more from your checkbook each month than you are today. Get your free analysis today to see if you qualify. Visit rsrnodebt.com. Log on today for your free analysis, rsrnodebt.com. No purchase necessary. The free analysis takes only 2 minutes. rsrnodebt.com. Ron Siegel Radio is your home and mortgage connection. Go to rsrnodebt.com. rsrnodebt.com.
Are you paying rent because you cannot afford to live in your dream home? Are you paying rent because you don't believe you have the down payment funds to purchase your own home? At Siegel Lending Team at ronismylender.com has up to $25,000 to help qualified people purchase their own home at amazing interest rates. Contact the Siegel Lending Team today at ronismylender.com. Again, ronismylender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037. ronismylender.com.
Homeowners over the age of 62 are taking back financial control after retirement with reverse mortgages, and the Siegel Lending Team is here to help you use it to your advantage. Call Ron Siegel with Geneva Financial to receive your free information booklet with no obligation. The booklet answers all your questions, and the best part is you still own your home. Call Ron Siegel at 1-800-306-1990 or visit ronsiegelradio.com.
Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? Is your credit score over 800? Are you living in the home of your dreams or simply where you think you can afford? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey, and the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP ATP to 79564.
Do you know a homeowner experiencing divorce? Do you know a real estate reference and the divorce decree could cost tens of thousands of dollars? A certified divorce mortgage planning and real estate report could save you thousands of dollars, and it's free from your local certified divorce lending professional. Reach out to Ron today. RonIsMyLender.com. Again, RonIsMyLender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The Borrow Smart segment today being brought to you by rsrdebtfree.com, rsrdebtfree.com. I can say it every day, but I can't say it enough. Just remember, you don't have to be overly stressed with debt. The debt consolidation loan from our friends at Geneva Financial, if you've got home equity, that can help you out. If you don't have home equity, our friends, Chris Corrales, he's helping hundreds of people right now that have credit card debt and helps renegotiate that. You know, I'm not a big fan of renegotiating everything. You know, you got a debt, it's an obligation. But when they raise the interest rates to 29.99, you know, they can negotiate that down a little bit. I just throw that out there for you. So call us, 800-306-1990. We can take care of any way that you've got debts. That's why one of the big things that we did during COVID became certified liability advisors. Big issue there. That's the Borrow Smart segment brought to you by rsrdebtfree.com, rsrdebtfree.com. And I will make a comment because I can. There was one of our contributing companies that helps us out with a lot of content on a regular basis had a tremendous loss this last Monday. And I didn't make a comment about it last week. It was disturbing to me because it was a friend and had been on the program several times. Our friend Steve Harney passed away Monday last week. And if you've ever heard or seen any of the postings that we do from Keeping Current Matters, Steve was the founder of Keeping Current Matters and a friend. Like I say, he'd been on the show with me and always a good friend. So definite condolences to his family, a great loss to the entire industry. He could take some of the most complex things that were going on and make them so somebody like me could even understand it. Made them really simple. So if you knew Steve, I don't know anybody that didn't love Steve. I mean, he was just a wonderful, wonderful gentleman. Our industry, our community has a great loss, a great hole in it with the loss of Steve Harney. Let's get back to our conversation with Jeff Clark, Trident Inspection Group. So before the break, Jeff, I was going to put you on the spot. Story time with Uncle Jeff.
The hot seat.
So, you know, what inspections, I mean, you know, I do loans, so I sit behind a desk and crunch numbers and things. You're out there and running into people and seeing things. And I mean, I've looked at some of the pictures that I see of just homes online where you'll see somebody that had their pictures of their house taken with a sink full of dirty dishes or laundry all over. What are some of the stories you can talk about?
One of the most affected that I was is I'm doing, and God bless this lady. We all do things for a reason. I walk in this house. She'd been in there forever, and literally there's game trails. And I'm a tall guy. I'm about 6'5", and there was stuff to my hips.
Oh wow!
So I'm in a hoarder home, and I'm going through it, and we're doing the best that we can. And then I come into the back, the room off the kitchen, the laundry room, and I see 3 cans of bed bug spray.
Oh!
So I call my wife.
Exciting?
Yeah, I call my wife and I say, I'm coming in through the back door. I had to, if you know anything about bed bugs, you got to take off your clothes, put them in a bag and get them. You just, they're a nightmare to get rid of.
Right.
But those types of situations, or I'll have someone call me up and say, hey, we'd like you to, we got all these gnats in the house, and usually on a raised foundation, and I'll get underneath there and they've had a sewage leak for, it looks like literally a lake underneath their home. And those are super unfortunate. And that's why I tell people, if you live on a raised foundation, nothing wrong with it, but have somebody go under there at least once a year.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's some fascinating ones.
Fascinating.
Well, so would the average inspection company know the difference between a bed bug and a spider or whatever?
Well, Trident is actually, we have a general home inspection, and then also through our sister company, we own both of them. It's Associated Exterminator, so it enables us to make pest recommendations as well, pest or termite recommendations. So your typical home inspection, no, they can't.
Okay.
They're not licensed to make those types of calls.
Gotcha.
Right. And Structural Pest Control Board draws a fine line on that. You do not comment on things that you're not licensed for.
Now, that's an interesting one. So who would regulate that? Because it's are inspection companies regulated?
In California, they're not. There's no licensing and there's no regulation. Okay.
You get somebody that knows nothing, just like me.
It's terrifying.
And I could put a sign up and say, I'm an home inspector.
Correct. So some of the things that you want to do when you're calling, you just Google or ChatGPT or whatever. What questions should I ask a home inspector? How long you've been in business? Do you have insurance? How many inspections have you done? Who's your certification through? There's three really primary. You have ASHI, American Society of Home Inspectors. You have CREA, California Residential Inspection Association. And then you have INTERNACHI, which is the National Association of Certified Home Inspectors. I'm the Orange County chapter president for that particular certifying body, right? So you have those three primary associations.
Oh, okay. So now the other thing that I didn't ask you before, which I should have, so when we were talking before about fixer uppers,
right?
And it's funny, I have a real short attention span, so I get caught on rabbit trails all the time. So Jeff did make a suggestion. Those of you that are into AI and have heard of ChatGPT, so I did just Google or ChatGPT, and it was real simple. And most of the time, I like a longer prompt. Top questions to ask a home inspector.
Go.
What does your home inspection cover? Can I attend the inspection? How long have you been practicing in home inspection profession? Are you specifically experienced in residential inspections? Do you hold any professional certifications? How long will the inspection take? We're gonna have to schedule another show with you.
Those are all questions that we absolutely recommend that you ask anybody you're interviewing to do your inspection.
Can I see a sample inspection report?
Yes.
What kind of equipment do you use? Holy cow, there's a lot of them here.
Yeah.
It's about 15 of them. We'll have to do another show with that.
I always love coming to Ron Siegel Radio.
So the question I wanted to get to with you before, though, because I think it's an important one. There's most of the questions I ask I think are important. Otherwise, I wouldn't ask them.
Very important.
When we're talking about fixer uppers, and you said about having an addendum that you offer that might be able to give us the idea of pricing of what not to do to fix up the property.
Correct.
Does Trident do that work?
To stay in line and be compliant with California Business Profession Code, we have to sub that out to a neutral third party, right? So we do send that out to a different party that does the repair pricer based on our report.
Okay.
So
you guys aren't doing the actual fix itself.
Not the fix, not that we're not providing the quote nor the repair.
Okay.
Just the information.
Perfect. So because certainly something like that would I know you and your organization, so I wouldn't expect it from you guys, but it could leave somebody thinking of a little bit of an impropriety there.
There's definitely a conflict of interest there. We take that relationship with our client very seriously, and we understand that we're the trusted advisor, and we have their attention, and so we want to stay in compliance with all laws.
Yeah, we don't want to.
I don't know how to say that.
Yeah, and something we talk about that here because obviously I talk all the time. I lead a lending company or a lending team, right? So when I talk about things that we can do on lending, right off the bat that I do lead a lending team, and that's what pays for the radio show. It pays for us to come out here and help try and educate you every morning or every evening, depending upon when you're listening. So it's always good to have that delineation out there. Is, hey, am I pushing my own book?
Right.
And you always want to have that information. So we're going to have Jeff Clark come back and talk to us about the top 15 questions we should ask an inspection company, according to ChatGPT. And this actually, so you'll know, full disclosure, I use what's called a Neo Ultimate AI plugin for it, or a sidebar. And if you don't remember, our friend Joe Ingram gave us the option last week. GPTmadeeasy.com. GPTmadeeasy.com. He's going to be teaching a course. And if you use the promo code RSR, 50% discount. RSR gets you a 50% discount. That's this Saturday from 10 to 2 in the city of Irvine or on Zoom. Either way, and as always, I ask, set that first radio preset button to come back here and join Ron Siegel Radio, where we only speak about items affecting your house and your bank account. Thanks to all of our sponsors. A big thanks to Josh and Sean who are engineering us today. And, of course, a special thanks to you for spending a little bit of your day with us. That's all for Ron Siegel Radio. Again, if you have any questions or to meet any of our guests, call me anytime. 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. And remember, make a lot of money so you can help a lot of people and have a lot of fun. Have a great day. We'll talk to you next time on Ron Siegel Radio.